All right. Hello again, Avengers, and welcome. Another exciting daily vlog. This is Daily Vlog 2025, number 206. And today, we've actually got some cool stuff happening for Daggerheart and for Demiplane in general and for Roll20. So let's start off with Daggerheart news. Just in time for my Daggerheart campaign to be finished. Thank you. There have added, Demiplane has added more integration for Roll20 if you own the Daggerheart core book. Specifically, and this has been one of the kind of big complaints for Daggerheart thus far, is there really is no way to put monster stat blocks into Roll20. Like there is no like blank NPC sheet that you can add to Roll20. The only thing that you could do before now in Roll20 was you could import your Daggerheart character sheet, which was really, really nice. Like I cannot overstate how great the Daggerheart character sheets are, and they work wonderfully with Roll20. However, that's not the only thing you need to be able to run a Daggerheart game. Bare minimum, you need to be able to have adversaries and things like that. Well, the wait is over. If you own Daggerheart on Demiplane or Roll20, you now have access to the compendium. Basically, you can click on it. Very similar if you watch my how to Roll20 video and I show you the D&D 5th edition compendium that's built into Roll20. Same basic thing, but for Daggerheart. So you can look at the different classes, you can look at the different rules, go through like literally everything, all the domain cards, everything. It's super cool. You still can't build characters in Roll20. You still have to do that in Daggerheart. But one of the other really nice things about the compendium being updated is now there are drag and drop adversaries and environments. And what that means is if you are running combat in Daggerheart, and you want to have like visual representations of it, like I was doing with my Village of Hamlet one shot, you can literally just find the adversaries in the compendium and just drag them directly onto the field. And they'll have a little icon and everything. They will have their hit points automatically, built in and everything. Like you can run everything. You can use the built-in initiative tracker if you want to use like the optional initiative rules or anything like that. Or you can track their hit point and all that stuff. Like it's really, really nice. And if you click add, it will actually create a character sheet for the adversaries that you could open up in Daggerheart or in Roll20 to make any of the rolls that you're supposed to make for them. You can also modify them. So not full-on homebrewing your own monsters or anything, but you can add traits and modify different aspects of the monsters if you want to get a little bit creative. And because the full compendium is on there, all the different traits that you could possibly think of adding are already kind of built in there that you can look through. And then the other thing that's really nice is environments. I wanted to use environments for the Village of Hamlet game, but it was just an additional level of complexity that I wasn't quite ready to deal with yet. And having to figure out how to fit environments into a pre-written campaign for original Dungeons and Dragons was just a little bit too much for me. If anyone is unaware, in Daggerheart, in addition to adversaries, you also have environment stat blocks that you can use in addition to adversaries to make things even more dynamic and even more interesting. The actual environment itself is its own character. It has its own things that it can do. It's very cool. If you're familiar with D&D 5th edition, it's somewhat reminiscent of kind of like layer actions, but layer actions in D&D 5th edition were basically at certain initiative spots. Normally it was 20, 10, and 0. If it happened at all, it was at one of those three things. Something would automatically happen. And that created a slightly more dynamic combat because, in addition to having to deal with the monsters and that, the actual environment itself was doing things to you. In the 2024 version, they basically got rid of layer actions and just gave certain monsters extra legendary actions, which I wasn't a fan of. Layer actions were not great, but they still were more interesting than just, here, we'll give you a couple extra legendary actions. In Daggerheart, you have kind of a similar thing where the environment itself can actually interact with the battle, but instead of it just being kind of like a countdown based thing, it is when certain things happen, the environment gets to act and can do things, and you can treat it as its own character, but you just can't kill the environment. So yeah, they have environments, they have adversaries and all that stuff. It means running Daggerheart has become significantly easier because Roll20 already has a way to be able to track hit points and stress. They have basically a red bubble, a blue bubble, and a green bubble. And so I don't know what they auto define them as, but you can just set each one of these little bubbles to the hit points and the stress, and you can literally just click on the token and modify those things in real time. So you no longer need a separate program or something like that to be able to track it. That's actually what I did for the Daggerheart. I found this really cool encounter builder that somebody had created online, and I used that to keep track of all my stuff. And it was okay. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but compared to the Excel spreadsheet I was using previously, the encounter builder was a huge step up. This does not have all the tools that the encounter builder had, including a way to kind of move monsters between tiers by just kind of changing certain numbers. It didn't work super well, but it was something. So in addition, or without that, you still can basically run encounters without having to have a completely separate sheet. Yeah, I really like that. Demiplane has also mentioned that there are other things in the works. They are working on getting the ability to homebrew your own stuff in the Demiplane, and again, because of the integration between Roll20 and Demiplane, for anyone that doesn't know, Drive-Thru RPG, which also includes the DM's Guild, those are the same company. Roll20 and Demiplane are all owned by the same company. They all merge together. So that's why you have Drive-Thru RPG integration with Roll20, and now you have this really great integration between Demiplane and Roll20. And as we've seen before, effectively, their goal with Daggerheart is anything you can do on Demiplane will eventually have some way to interact with Roll20. And they've been putting out this stuff really fast. I mean, Daggerheart's been out for like a couple months now, and they already have added playtest content. They've now added the complete compendium and adversaries that are customizable and stuff like that. This is all stuff that's really useful and really great. So yeah, so that's Daggerheart news. Super excited about that. In addition, there was a Kickstarter. There was a Kickstarter that happened a long time ago. Actually, it wasn't that long ago. It was... I don't know. It doesn't actually say when it started. But Brandon Sanderson went to Kickstarter, or someone associated with them, went to Kickstarter to kickstart the Cosmere role-playing game. and they raised $15 million. If I remember correctly, it broke records when it happened. So the tabletop role-playing game that they created is called Cosmere, and it is officially out as far as I can tell. At least, I guess print versions aren't out yet as far as I can tell, but it does. It is available on Demiplane. Like you can buy it right now. Before I say the wrong thing, I'm gonna actually open it up. Yeah, you can. There's a starter rule set, and then there are 3 different books. There's the Stormlight Handbook, the Stormlight World Guide, and then the Stonewalker's Adventure. The handbook is basically your PHB. The World Guide is basically your DMG, and then Stonewalker's Adventure is an adventure for it. Yeah, as far as I can tell, Cosmere does not seem to be like just a D20 modification or something. It has some things kind of similar to D&D in the idea, like, I think they have like 6 attributes and stuff like that. But as far as I can tell, it is its own unique RPG. I would love to do an in-depth review on it. I have to have the money to do it first. But that in and of itself is pretty a pretty big deal. Again, they raised $15 million for this RPG, and people have been extremely excited about it. And now you can get at least a digital version of it and start looking it over. I think I've looked over, like I've glanced at a few reviews, and as far as I can remember, I think it was getting kind of a lukewarm response. I might be wrong. I might be thinking, no, it's... No, I'm completely wrong. People seem to be absolutely loving it. Yeah. Again, as soon as I have money, some pumps are expensive, guys. They're very, very expensive. Especially when you don't own the house, but the person that owns the house can't afford to, and so I have to pay. Anyway, yeah, as soon as I have money, I'm going to see if I can at least get the Demiplane version. Because again, I am loving Demiplane so much. The experience with Daggerheart has been wonderful. I've actually been using Demiplane since Avatar Legends came out on it, and I loved the Avatar Legend Nexus for it because it just works so incredibly well. And the character sheets are beautiful and everything. So yeah, it is very quickly replacing D&D Beyond as my favorite kind of online tool set. Doesn't mean I think D&D Beyond sucks or anything. I still love D&D Beyond. It's great. However, Demiplane is just hitting it out of the park again and again. And they are so much more open to criticism than I have ever seen from D&D Beyond. Well, I guess maybe not ever seen. They used to be really open to criticism, and then WotC bought them. And WotC has never been super great with... Well, I take that back. Certain people in WotC, great with criticism. Some of them quit and now work for Darrington Press. And so now I don't know how much of WotC is open to criticism. But Chris Perkins was totally open to criticisms. And Crawford, depending on the day. Anyway. So yeah, those 2 things are really big and cool and wonderful. And then the final thing, something that I actually did have the money to back forever ago. There is a little... There's a relatively unknown author that wrote a book series that is kind of a hidden treasure. You guys, if you're really really into like really obscure fantasy authors, you might recognize the name Terry Pratchett or the Discworld series. And yeah, a little while ago, they ran a Kickstarter for a TTRPG that was set in the Discworld kind of a franchise and everything like that. The TTRPG is entitled Discworld Adventures in Ankh Morpork. I think. There's lots of letters in there, and it feels like there's more consonants that need to be. Anyway, backers have been getting regular information and updates about this, and I think yesterday I got my digital copy of the core book for the new Discworld TTRPG. Very similar to Welcome to Night Vale. I don't like doing reviews and things like that when the people seeing the review can't actually go out and purchase it. Because one of the reasons I do these reviews is to help people decide if they want to pick it up or not. And if I do the review now and it doesn't come out for like 2 or 3 months, then the people that I recommended it to are probably going to forget about it. And then the review, that aspect of the review, just really isn't that useful. So I may sit on this book for a little bit before I do an in-depth review on it, but I am 100% planning on doing an in-depth review. From very, 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 very casually thumbing through it, it is much more rules light than I was expecting. It's made by Modiphius. Modiphius has a brilliant tabletop system that they have a proprietary tabletop system called the 2D20 system that I adore. My absolute favorite version of it thus far is Dune Adventures of the Imperium. Adventures in the Imperium. The 2D20 system in there is so well designed that they use literally the exact same resolution mechanic for everything from like charisma checks effectively. Like if you're having a negotiation with someone, they use the exact same resolution mechanic as they do if you're commanding armies that are going up against like large scale army versus army battles, and intimate one-on-one conversations use the exact same resolution mechanic, and it works beautifully in both instances and everything in between. It's just so great. So the 2D20 system is generally more rules light and a little more narrative focused than something like definitely something like Pathfinder, but even something like D&D 5th edition. As far as I can tell for Discworld, they've gone even further into the rules light, very narrative focused, which kind of fits with Discworld and Terry Pratchett in general. Like, Terry Pratchett's writing... By the way, if anyone is unaware, Terry Pratchett is a massive, massive author. Like, that was a joke, if anyone didn't get that. He's very, very well known. And the Discworld series is an absolute gem. It is beloved by millions. I personally have never had a chance to read it because my brain doesn't let me read new things, and I didn't know it existed until I got much older because... Again, I had this entire period of my life where the things that I liked, I was told I wasn't supposed to like. Like, I was too old to like Power Rangers, and video games were for dorks, and band was for geeks. And so I kind of like was very contained within my own brain, and I never told people about the stuff that I really liked because I didn't want to be made fun of. And because of that, I also didn't get to meet other people who were into the same things that I was. And so I didn't get that thing that now I have so many friends that are so creative and so amazing that like all the time I'm being introduced to new amazing things. Like, really good example. One one of my players, her name is Katie. She is wonderful. She is amazing. She knows more about anime than I ever will. She is constantly just talking about the different anime that she enjoys. And she's turned me on to a few different anime that I have just completely fallen head over heels for. The most recent one that I just absolutely loved was something. What was it called? It's got a long name. I left my A-rank party to help my former students reach the dungeon depths. If that sounds like a weird name, it's because it's a weird name. But it's anime, so it's not as weird as it sounds. It's a delightful, like, RPG kind of anime. It's also like a harem anime, which for the first like 6 episodes, you don't get that feeling at all. And then like episode 7, suddenly his entire female party, because the main character is a dude who's a red mage who's super cool. His entire female party is instantly in love with him. And they all just, not only are they absolutely in love with him, but none of them have any issue with him, you know, being with anyone else in the group. They just all want to share him. And it goes real thick, real quick. Other than that, because I'm not a huge fan of harem anime just in general, it just feels wrong to me. Other than that aspect, it's a delightful series. So yeah, like I now have friends that are interested in things that I'm not, and they're constantly kind of showing me new stuff. And sometimes my brain lets me actually get into that stuff. I think Bofuri was another one that I don't know if Katie actually introduced me to it or we just kind of started watching it at the same time and both just kind of like, oh my god, Bofuri is so amazing. But yeah, if you look at the anime that I like, things like Bofuri, Sword Art Online, the early stuff was really, really good. The later stuff is a little weird. I left my A-rank party. You'll start to notice a theme. Like if you look up these anime, they're all RPGs and stuff. Yep, and there's more that I can't remember. Like I really liked the Rising of the Shield Hero. I enjoyed that a lot. I'm like halfway through season 2, and my brain just won't let me go back to it. But that's an amazingly fun one. There was another one that I can't remember. I like RPG anime. Let's just leave it that way. So anyway, back to Discworld. Yeah, it's as far as I can tell, it seems very, very narrative focused, very, very tongue in cheek, which really fits Terry Pratchett's writing style in general. Like one of my favorite things, just to reveal something to you. In the chapter entitled "Playing the Game," the second to last subchapter in there is character death. How do you deal with characters dying? The final subchapter in the Playing the Game chapter is character, death. So you have character death and then character death, where death comes in and just talks to you for like half a page. That is Discworld. It's lovely. The artwork is amazing. Like everything about it is really cool. So yes, expect an in-depth review when that gets a little bit closer to launch. I will also be doing an in-depth review of the Welcome to Night Vale RPG because I believe that's coming out this next month. I believe it's coming out in August. So that'll be coming soon. I still have two G.I. Joe books that I need to do an in-depth review on because that. And then I also have the rest of Essential Essence 20 to do. So I've got lots of stuff that I just need my brain to let me do it. So, but as far as like TTRPGs are going right now, like lots of cool stuff is going on. Like there's just cool stuff and I'm excited and Demiplane keeps adding new stuff. And I really, really like, on the Daggerheart subreddit, I don't understand why, but there is this like intrinsic hatred of Demiplane with a small subgroup of the people there. And I can't understand why. They're like, I've been using Demiplane for years, and it used to just be I just used the the Avatar stuff, and I loved it. And I've never understood people that have a problem with Demiplane. It's fantastic. So yeah. Anyway, interested to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about the new Daggerheart updates? Are you excited about even more stuff that's going on? Like I said, they're planning a whole set of GM tools. They're planning. They're working on homebrew stuff, so you can homebrew your own stuff. Lots of cool stuff there. And then, what do you guys think about Cosmere? Does anyone actually have Cosmere thus far, or has anyone had a chance to look at any of the books or anything like that? I'd be really interested. Like I said, I want to get it. The digital copy of the Player's Handbook, effectively, is like $35, which for a TTRPG book is not exorbitant. I think it's a little bit more expensive than like a D&D one, because I think the digital versions of those are normally like $30. But there's also 3 of them every time they release a new edition, versus, as far as I can tell here, there's only 2 here. And I can look real quick to see if, because again, the Stormlight Handbook, which is the core rules for playing the Cosmo role-playing game in the world of Roshar, it's $35 American bucks. I don't know what it is other countries. And then the World Guide, yeah. And it just says a companion to the Stormlight Handbook for GMs and fans of the Stormlight Archive. So yeah, basically that's your GM's guide. And that's $35 as well. So if I wanted both of them, I would need to pay $70, which is more money than I have right now, because I'm saving up for stuff. It'd be real cool if they had like a bundle. Like, Cosmere, give me a bundle. Let me buy stuff in a bundle. I like bundles. They're great. Anyway, so yeah, let me know what you guys think. Otherwise, again, it's all for me today. I will see you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye.